West Pittston, Pennsylvania, a small town nestled in the heart of coal country, rolling hills and a tight-knit community. But behind the idyllic facade, a darkness lurked. On Chase Street, a home stood silent, a place where joy turned to terror. This is the story of the Smurl haunting, a tale that sent chills down the spines of a nation. Jack Smurl, a hard-working man, was the sole provider for his family. He toiled tirelessly to ensure they had everything they needed. Janet, a loving wife and mother, kept their home running smoothly. Their 4 daughters, full of life and laughter, brought immeasurable joy to their parents' lives. They were a picture of happiness. They believed their new home would be a sanctuary, a place to build a lifetime of memories. Little did they know, their dreams would soon transform into their worst nightmares. The house on Chase Street was a 2-story Victorian. It was old but charming, with a certain allure that drew the Smurls in. They saw past the peeling paint and creaky floorboards, envisioning a happy future within its walls. They poured their hearts and souls into making it their own, unaware that they were sharing their home with something sinister, something that watched their every move from the shadows. At first, the paranormal activity was subtle. A door creaking open on its own, the faint scent of perfume lingering in the air, a cold spot in the hallway. The Smurls dismissed these occurrences as mere coincidences, the quirks of an old house. They had no reason to believe that something sinister was afoot. But as the days turned into weeks, the events grew more frequent and more unsettling. The house seemed to be awakening, and with it a malevolent force. One evening, as Janet cooked dinner, she felt a cold breath on her neck. She turned around, expecting to see one of her daughters, but no one was there. The hair on the back of her neck stood on end. A wave of unease washed over her. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Something was different about the house. It felt heavy, oppressive, like an unseen entity had entered their lives. As the haunting intensified, the Smurls began to experience more terrifying phenomena. Objects moved inexplicably across the room. Footsteps echoed through the hallway when no one was around. The pungent odor of sulfur permeated the air, a sign of something demonic. Fear became a constant companion, casting a dark shadow over their lives. They tried to maintain a semblance of normalcy, but the paranormal activity was relentless. It chipped away at their sanity, leaving them feeling vulnerable and terrified in their own home. One night, young Dawn woke up screaming. She claimed that a dark figure had been standing over her bed, its eyes glowing red in the darkness. Her parents rushed to her side, comforting her as best they could. But deep down, a chill ran down their spines. They knew that something evil had taken root in their home. They couldn't ignore it any longer. Their once happy home had become a prison, a place of constant fear and dread. The paranormal activity wasn't limited to physical manifestations. The Smurls also reported hearing disembodied voices, whispering their names in the dead of night. The voices seemed to come from the walls themselves, taunting them, threatening them. Sleep became a distant memory as every creak of the floorboard, every rustle of leaves outside their windows sent shivers down their spines. The once familiar sounds of their home had transformed into harbingers of fear. They were living in a nightmare, and there seemed to be no escape. The children, too young to comprehend the horrors that plagued their home, became withdrawn and terrified. Their once carefree laughter was replaced with nervous silence. The haunting was taking its toll on the entire family, tearing them apart piece by piece. Desperate for help, the Smurls confided in their neighbors and friends, but their stories were met with skepticism and disbelief. As the paranormal activity escalated, the Smurls realized they were dealing with something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined. Unexplained fires ignited spontaneously throughout the house. Furniture overturned violently as if an unseen force were raging within their home. The temperature would plummet suddenly, sending chills down their spines. The demonic presence was making itself known, growing stronger with each passing day. The Smurls were living in a state of constant terror, never knowing what horror awaited them next. One evening, as Jack sat in his armchair, he felt a searing pain in his arm. He looked down to see 3 bloody scratches appear on his skin, as if he had been clawed by an animal. The scratches were deep and painful, a physical manifestation of the evil that surrounded them. The family was living in a nightmare. They were trapped in a battle with an unseen enemy. and they were losing. Desperate for help, the Smurls turned to their local priest, hoping for a reprieve from the relentless paranormal assault. The priest, sensing the genuine fear and torment in their eyes, agreed to bless their home. He performed an exorcism, praying for the evil to be banished from their lives. For a brief moment, there was a glimmer of hope. The paranormal activity seemed to subside, but it was short-lived. The demonic entity, enraged by their attempts to drive it out, returned with a vengeance. The haunting intensified, becoming more violent and terrifying than before. The Smurls were at their wits' end. They had sought help from the church, but it was not enough. They needed to dig deeper to uncover the source of the evil that plagued their home. They were determined to reclaim their lives from the clutches of the paranormal. In 1986, after years of enduring the relentless horrors of the Smurl haunting, the family reached out to renowned paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens, known for their work on cases like the Amityville Horror, were their last hope. They arrived at the Smurl residence, bringing with them an air of quiet confidence and a vast knowledge of the paranormal. The Warrens immediately sensed the palpable evil that permeated the home. They knew they were dealing with a powerful demonic force. Lorraine, a gifted clairvoyant, claimed to see the spirits of a man who had murdered his wife and daughter in the house many years ago. She also sensed the presence of a demonic entity far more powerful and sinister that was feeding off the family's fear and despair. Ed, a demonologist, began to document the paranormal activity, using his equipment to capture evidence of the unseen forces at play. Ed and Lorraine Warren, convinced that the Smurl family was caught in the clutches of a powerful demonic entity, decided to perform an exorcism. The atmosphere in the house was thick with tension as the Warrens, armed with their faith and knowledge, confronted the forces of darkness. The demonic entity, enraged by their intrusion, unleashed its full fury upon them. Objects flew across the room, disembodied voices screamed obscenities, and the temperature plummeted. The exorcism was a grueling battle of wills. The Warrens fought tirelessly to break the demonic entity's hold on the Smurl family and their home. Days turned into nights as the struggle between good and evil raged on within the walls of the house on Chase Street. After an arduous and terrifying ordeal, the Warrens declared the Smurl haunting over. The demonic entity, weakened by their relentless efforts, had been driven from the home. The Smurl family, emotionally and physically drained from their years of torment, could finally breathe a sigh of relief. They had escaped the nightmare that had haunted them for so long. In 1989, seeking a fresh start, the Smurls moved out of their home on Chase Street. They left behind the horrors they had endured, hoping to rebuild their lives in peace. Their story, however, continued to captivate and terrify people across the country. The Smurl haunting became one of the most well-documented cases of paranormal activity in American history, a chilling reminder that sometimes the line between our world and the supernatural can blur, unleashing unimaginable horrors into our lives. The Smurl family, forever marked by their harrowing experience, eventually shared their story with the world. Their book, The Haunted, became a bestseller, recounting the terrifying details of their ordeal and the profound impact it had on their lives. While skeptics dismissed their claims as elaborate hoaxes, many believed the Smurls' account, haunted by the chilling details and the family's unwavering belief in what they had experienced. The Smurl haunting remains a chilling reminder that some mysteries defy explanation, leaving us to wonder what unseen forces lurk in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to cross over into our world. The Smurl haunting, though now a part of history, continues to echo through the corridors of paranormal lore. The house, once a battleground of the supernatural, stands as a silent witness to the events that transpired within its walls. Paranormal enthusiasts and investigators still visit the site, hoping to capture evidence of the lingering spirits. The Smurl family, despite the passage of time, remains a symbol of resilience in the face of the unknown. Their story serves as a stark reminder that the veil between our world and the other side is thin, and sometimes it is inexplicably breached. As the years roll on, the Smurl haunting has inspired countless documentaries, books, and discussions, keeping the tale alive for new generations to ponder. The question remains, was it a genuine encounter with the paranormal, or an elaborate series of coincidences? The answer may never be known, but the legacy of the Smurl haunting will undoubtedly endure, fueling our fascination with the unknown. Thank you for watching the Smurl haunting, unveiling the terrifying truth. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel for more spine-chilling stories and paranormal investigations. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest uploads. See you in the next video.